On AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to Black and Right on AM 560, The Answer. I'm your host, John Anthony, live in studio with my good friend, the troublemaker himself, Verlon Galloway. I'm not going to waste any time. The other night, I was at a watch party with my good friend, Mark Vargas. Mark Vargas is an amazing dude. If you've never met him, you got to meet him. And we had a special guest there, the former governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich. Hot Rod, welcome to Black and Right. Uh-oh.
See.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you, John?
I am doing well. I just want to say I had a great time at the night, the watch party that we were invited at. You really impressed me, sir. I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, I appreciate that. It was a small little gathering with you and your Mark Vargas, the guy that you just talked about, the guy mystery man who helped me come home. And it was all real nice and small and pleasant, good people. And John, we left there about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And President Trump was up 790,000 in Michigan. He was up 790,000 in Pennsylvania, 300,000 in Michigan, 110,000 votes in Wisconsin with 9% left to count.
Yes.
Went to bed, and 3 hours later I get up at 7, and he's losing.
Yep.
Hey, two of the three, and then eventually, yes.
But you were the first one to catch this. We were all watching.
Yeah.
But you were the first one to catch that. Like 7 states had completely stopped counting, and your words were, "Something's not right. They're getting ready to do something with this election." And you said they may try to steal this election. Do you recall that comment?
I vividly recall it. I remember being horrified when I saw that there was this so-called water main problem in Atlanta.
Yes.
That was a red flag.
Yes.
And when they stopped the counting, like you say, in 7 states, that's a red flag, too. Look, I come out of Chicago politics, and I know what Democratic political machines in big cities do. And when their candidate is behind, as theirs was on Tuesday, and way behind in the states that mattered, they did what they did, and it's very predictable, and they stopped everything. And then I knew that was the kind of the beginning of what we're now seeing. And, is it possible that Biden could have overcome those big leads that Trump had? Nothing's impossible except to say it's highly unlikely based upon the fact that in so many places, the way they're doing it, this is so recognizable to someone who understands big city politics and Democratic political machines. So, because that's how they do it, John. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask the question because I saw Don Jr. He tweeted, "Was this election stolen?" Was this election stolen? And your remark, what I loved about your remark was, "Is the Pope Catholic?"
Right.
That was amazing, sir.
Governor, my name is Verlon.
Yes.
My name is Verlon Galloway. I don't know if you remember me, but I used to call your show. You used to keep me company on my long trips downstate when I used to have a business before Barack Obama ran me out of business. But I just want to say I got goosebumps right now talking to you. And I used to tell people for years, a man crush, I used to tell people for years, I voted for you. You're the only Democrat governor I ever voted for.
As did I. Because
you had $1 million haircut and $1 billion personality, and you won me over. I think I shook your hand one time at an L stop. You were running for governor one time, and I used to talk to you every weekend. I forgot whether it was Saturday or Sunday, but you kept me company. You make a lot of sense, and you're a good man. And I want everybody to know that you got a raw deal. And I always want to tell you that to your face. That. You got a raw deal, and you're a good man. And you're a strong man
too. I
too.
Appreciate that. Well, thank you, Mr. Galloway. That's awfully kind of you. I remember you calling. It was a Sunday show at WLS after they hijacked me from office, and I was scratching and clawing to try to earn a living, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for calling. But where was when I met you at the L station? Was that on the south side somewhere, or was it on the north side?
It was on the south side. Yep, because I'm from the south side.
95th Street.
95th.
Yeah, I remember you.
So, Governor, what do you think? What do you think are the chances? Slim to none, or is this over?
No, it's not over by any means. Not by any means. And I would say to anybody out there who supports President Trump, let's quote my friend Reverend Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive. Don't give up and don't give in to this. And I would say this to my fellow Democrats who support Joe Biden. What you ought to do is you ought to stand back and slow down your celebrations let's wait and see whether or not all of these indications that there's massive vote fraud in many, many places, in big cities like Philadelphia and Detroit and Atlanta and in Milwaukee and in Las Vegas. Let's see whether or not there's real evidence, and let's see whether the courts act as they must act if there is evidence of vote fraud. And before we reach a conclusion and suddenly decide who the president is, there's valid reasons to think there's a lot wrong here.
Yeah.
You know, you say 7 states stop counting. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark. That's from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And as soon as they stop counting, that's an indication what they're going to do. And it's exactly what they did. They stopped counting, and then it was in the wee hours of the night, in the dark of night, they started counting again.
Wow.
And that's when no one is there, no one's watching, and that's when the mischief goes on, and it's unrelenting. And so let's see whether or not the things that appear to be those kinds of shenanigans prove to be true.
Yeah.
My instincts tell me they are true. My instincts tell me it's on a vast and widespread scale. And my instincts tell me that Pennsylvania and the voters in Pennsylvania were likely to vote in the same way the voters in Ohio voted and Florida voted. And Trump was able to get a record African-American vote, a record Latino vote. How does he lose the election?
That's
it just doesn't make sense.
Hey, Governor, I want to hold you over for 1 to 2 minutes in the next segment. We're going to head to break. But I want to play an audio clip that I thought was the best speech that I think I've ever heard. So hold the line. We'll be right back.
Okay.
You're listening to Black and White on AM 560 The Answer.
Did you know that if you were to get the daily recommended amount of fruits and vegetables in the variety you need, it would cost you at least $450 a month? This doesn't even take into consideration the difficulty of finding high-quality produce or the effort required to store and prepare it every single day. What if I told you that you can get all that nutrition and more while saving hundreds of dollars a month? Balance of Nature brings you 31 different vine-ripened, freeze-dried fruits and vegetables in a capsule for only 22 cents a serving. We hold the produce we source to the highest of standards in order to provide you with the most nutritional value. Unlike other supplements, we're providing you only the whole produce, real food that your body needs. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Harmon Becker Automotive Systems Incorporated seeks a principal platform architect in Vernon Hills, Illinois to lead the technical direction and architecture for the Ignite platform and direct the application architecture and deployment for highly distributed and scalable systems in both public cloud and hybrid cloud environments. Apply at jobpostingtoday.com, reference number 87889. Again, apply at jobpostingtoday.com, reference number 87889.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. Leslie, I like to think that we're always finishing the drive to the end zone and not just blocking and tackling for our clients. We want them to be ready for the big game, their retirement.
That's right, Craig, and our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready for 2020.
Make a tactical maneuver to make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Pick Wealth Management Group as your offensive line. Visit us at investwithwmg.com and listen to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
We now return to Black and White on AM 560, The Answer. Here's John Anthony.
I'd like to say something about adversity. And I'd like to direct my remarks to all of my fellow underdogs out there who find themselves up against powerful forces and long odds. To anyone facing hard circumstances, who've suffered loss, are hurting, or who, like me, have hit rock bottom. You may be down. All your hope may seem to have disappeared. The road you have to travel is a long one, and home, that's where you want to be, is so far away you can't even see the flicker of a light at the end of the tunnel. But don't give up. Don't give up. Think of the people you love.
Welcome back to Black and White. I'm your host, John Anthony, live in studio with my guest co-host, Verlon Galloway. That voice you heard was the former governor of Illinois, Blago Blagojevich. Sir, that was one of the greatest speeches. I shed tears when I heard that full speech, but it was that last 2 minutes and 30 some odd seconds that I literally was bawling. So I wanted to play that, and I wanted to say I can't wait until the book comes out, sir.
No, Thank you, John. That's very nice of you. Well, I'm going to take out a couple of boxes of crayons and start writing that book.
And you need to coin that term, Trumpocrat. I think that's the first time I've ever heard it when you said it.
For sure.
Well, that's right. I think I was the first one, and you know what? I'm not the only one. There's a whole bunch of Trumpocrats out there. A lot of Democrats. I know so many of my fellow Democrats who, helped me get elected, who've been supporting President Trump in this election too. And that's another thing that doesn't add up. How he can do so much better among Democrat voters than previous Republicans did. Yeah. Again, African Americans, Latinos, and working class white Democrat voters who've traditionally been, loyal supporters of the Democratic Party. But I've argued the modern Democratic Party has left those constituencies. Trump has embraced them. The old Republican Party ignored them, didn't even want them. Yeah. And so politics is changing dramatically. And I think that's among the reasons why Trump has to fight so hard. And what's happening now is so important. This is a critical moment in our history. If it turns out that the vote fraud is, as I believe it is, widespread and deep and concerted and part of a planned, organized effort, then this must not be allowed to stand. It isn't that they're cheating Donald Trump. They're cheating the American people, the people. If I'm wrong and it's not the case, then fine. Biden wins fair and square. But there's so much evidence to suggest that it's not fair. It would be wrong to not look into this. And what they should have done before they proclaimed him a victor, they should have waited for all of this to be fully counted and reevaluated. Yes. But I think the courts are going to get involved, John, and I think the Supreme Court will too. Yeah. And then we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, Governor, thanks so much for joining us here on Black and White. You got to come in here into the studio so that I can look across you as I'm looking across Verlon. We do a whole full 2-hour show. You game?
I want to very much so. For no other reason, I want to see Mr. Galloway again.
Oh man, I'll make sure.
I'll make sure that.
Be here. Okay,
all right, there it is. Governor Rod Blagojevich, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, John.
All right, I love that guy.
Man,
I really
cool.
do. Because so many people say he shouldn't get a second chance or second opportunity, and that's why I had to play that speech.
You know what that was about?
20 seconds. We end of the show. 20 seconds. 30 seconds.
John, thank you for having me. And this was one of the best shows that you had me on.
Thank you.
Literally calls, the guest, and I got fired up. I think this was the most I've ever been fired up. I'm not gonna say a losing proposition because you never, just like the former governor just said, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I just hate that I had to get fired up for losing.
Yeah. I want to thank the former governor and my good friend Mark Vargas. For making this happen. Let's hope President Trump pardons, gives this governor a full pardon.
Oh, you know that's coming.
And I hope he does it soon. I want to thank DJ Pete. Thanks so much for helping me out today. I just want to quickly say this. Don't give up hope. This is America. We'll get through this. And we'll get through this together. We will. You can't give up on the greatest idea that has ever been birthed into the world. That idea called America. You can't defeat ideas. She can't be defeated, and she won't be defeated by the presidency of Joe Biden. You're listening to Black and White. I'm John Anthony. He's Verlon Galloway. See you next week.
President Trump is the most well-known person in the world. But who is he really?
The president's my friend. Have you ever met him? Do you know him?